Hello, I'm Laura, and these are today's Heartlines. I am not giving a date today because it is the holiday of Good Friday on the Christian calendar, and instead I am sharing a special contemplation and meditation that can be used at any time by anyone. Our theme for Heartlines today is Rise into Atonement. Good Friday is otherwise known as God's Friday or the Christian Day of Atonement. Traditionally, Christianity sees this atonement as happening through Jesus' sacrifice on the cross. The belief system in which I grew up sees atonement as at-one-ment, a realization of our unity with the divine and with all of life. In the four Gospels, we see a total of 7 statements that Jesus shared from the cross. They are universal teachings of atonement for all time, and I want to share them with you today by understanding them a little more deeply and silently holding a message from each one in our hearts. So let us begin our journey to atonement through the great teachings of Jesus from the cross. We begin with the teaching of forgiveness. The first thing Jesus said was, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Imagine having such forgiveness in such a moment. This is because Jesus was basically grounded in the unconditional love of the divine, and forgiveness freed him up to hold to that spiritual connection. And so we can take this message into our hearts in a brief few seconds of silence. I am grounded in unconditional love. I forgive, and I am forgiven and free. I am grounded in unconditional love. I forgive, and I am forgiven and free. The next teaching is peace. When Jesus spoke to someone who was being crucified with him and said, "Today you shall be with me in paradise," saying that even now we can experience that peace of the divine. And we can do that in whatever situation we find ourselves in life when we pause and take a moment and feel that presence of spirit or love or whatever we want to call it within us. So let's take this teaching to heart. Thank you, Spirit of life, within and all around me, for awakening me to your paradise right here and now. Thank you, Spirit of life, within and all around me, for awakening me to your paradise right here and now. Our next teaching is family. Not just our personal family, although that is important, but our whole human family. Jesus looked at the beloved disciple John and his mother Mary, and he said, "Woman, behold thy son," and looked at John and said, "Behold thy mother," making a family connection. And we have that connection with everyone in our human family when we look within to feel it in our hearts. So our message here that we can hold in our hearts is, the light of divine love blesses my life and shines through all that I do to bless my human family. The light of divine love blesses my life and shines through all that I do to bless my human family. Our next message is to let go and let God. Jesus cried out at one point, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He was actually quoting the 22nd Psalm, in which the psalmist is troubled over the current world circumstances as well as the circumstances of his own life. And he feels forsaken by that divine spirit, only to realize as he contemplates this question that he is not forsaken, that there is a sense of sustenance and moving him through even the most difficult of conditions. And so we can realize this as well by holding this teaching in our hearts. I let go and let divine love nurture and protect me in every area of my life. I let go and let divine love nurture and protect me in every area of my life. As we hear our neighbors chasing the dog down outside, we can become receptive to that spirit of life in all things. And here is where Jesus said, I thirst. I thirst. But he was speaking of more than just getting some water or something to quench his thirst in the moment. He was referring to the teaching of hungering and thirsting after righteousness, or the right use of the divine spirit that dwells within us. And so when we become open and receptive by being hungry and thirsty for the right use of that spirit, we can open ourselves to a creative power that is beyond any limitation. So let's look at this teaching and hold it in our hearts. I am open and receptive to the creative power of the universe. I awaken to its presence in me, and I activate it in my life now. I am open and receptive to the creative power of the universe. I awaken to its presence in me, and I activate it in my life now. And finally, we reach completion with Jesus' statement, it is finished, stating that his mission, his purpose for being here on earth is complete. And we too can feel complete when we declare that we are complete with something, and when we open our hearts to the gratitude for everything that has brought us up to here. So let's hold this teaching in our hearts. I am grateful for all that has brought me up to here. I release it into the past and step forward into new life. I am grateful for all that has brought me up to here. I release it into the past and step forward into new life. And finally, we acknowledge fulfillment. Jesus said, when he felt complete, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. Letting go and letting that divine move us into that new life. So let's hold this idea in our hearts. I am whole, free, and ready to be who I came here to be. I am whole, free, and ready to be who I came here to be. So that's it. Our journey to atonement, forgiveness, peace, family, let go and let God, receptivity, completion, and fulfillment. Thank you for being with me in this special acknowledgement of this special day. Whatever your background is, these teachings are for you. Have a wonderful day.